What's up, guys? This video is just gonna be a montage of every video I made in 2025, just honestly like ranting about dumb shit while playing video games in the background. 2025, even though I ranted and complained a lot, was actually a pretty good year for me and like for this channel. Like, I technically created this in 2024, but I was busy. I only made like one video. This year, I still didn't post as much as I like. I'm gonna post way more this year in 2026, but still I gained 35 subscribers when I had like zero before. And I definitely I'm saying my goal is high for 2026. I really think if I lock in, I could post more and reach like at least like 500 subscribers this year. But anyways, this is just a montage of like every single rant I did this year, or every single video I did this year, or technically last year. This is going up in 2026, but every video I did in 2025, and it's going to be in order so you can kind of see how the videos got better as I go along, hopefully. But yeah, that's about it. Enjoy. Happy New Year's. Hope y'all have a good 2026. Big thanks for 35 subscribers.
This summer, I worked a job at Five Below, and one of my main takeaways and experiences that I learned while working that job is that people do not know how to raise their kids anymore, man. And I understand that I'm young and that I'm not a parent, so I'm probably not the best to like tell people how to raise their kids and shit. But they would just come into the store while I worked at Five Below and just let their kids do absolutely anything, bruh. Like, they wouldn't even raise their voice at them. They wouldn't even be paying attention to them. They would people would come into the store and just completely neglect their kids. Their kids will be like knocking shit all the way off the shelves, making huge messes, like whining, doing other like straight just destroying or stealing merchandise sometimes. And the parents would just be shopping on their own, like nothing's happening. Or like what's even worse, in my personal opinion, because it just like I don't know, it just pisses me off more when I see it, is like when someone comes in, right, and they're like actually with their kid, and their kid just misbehaving in front of them, and they're like aware of it too, and they're just telling their kid, like, imagine the kid's name is like Timothy. There's like, Timothy, stop. Timothy, I told you no. Timothy, stop. I'm just like, ma'am, grab your kid, yell at your kid. Like, I understand we're in the age of gentle parenting, but it gets to a point, right? And the thing that's even stupider, right, is as like a retail employee, most like big corporations, when you're a retail employee, there's like so many things you like can't do. Like, you're not allowed to tell their kid to stop. You're not allowed to stop the kid from doing anything. You just have to pick up the shit and the mess they make after they do it. But you're not allowed to really like stop them, other than like maybe telling the parent. But even then, my managers would like advise against that most of the time because it's like rude or whatever. So you just have to watch the kids like fuck up the whole store, create more work for you, and you just have to kind of sit there and just like, you can't even look mad about it really, because like you can't be like frowning at the register or frowning just like as an associate in the store. Every day when I would see this, right, I would almost like compare it with like how I was raised, and I would consider myself to be raised with not very strict parents, like at all, especially compared to a lot of people I've met in my day, right? But even then, if I were to break something in the store, my parents would make me pick it up, and then they would like pay for it and stuff. But then they would also like discipline me and stuff, and like be mad at me, obviously. Bro, the parents would come in there, their kid would like break like 5 things, pay for none of it. They wouldn't clean it up, they wouldn't make their kid clean it up, so then we would have to clean it up. And like they would just act like nothing's happened, and then sometimes even be like mad at you, which is like crazy low-key. Like, and then there's something that's also just as common, which is low-key even crazier, is that sometimes parents will come in to the store and be more disrespectful, more rude, and more rambunctious than the kids themselves. And it's like the kid is more mature than the parent. I'm like, bro, this is so wild. Like, there's so many like grown-up babies that are just exist within the world, bro. It's insane. And I didn't realize like how much of the adult population acted like this until I worked like a real until I worked like a retail job, right? This isn't like my first ever job, obviously, but like this is my first retail job, and bro, there's so many like adult toddlers that just don't even it's insane. They'll be like super rude, yelling at like associates and stuff like that over stuff that's their fault. And then their kid will be like so polite, like saying hi, telling you have a good day when they leave, like telling you thank you when you hand them a receipt, stuff like that. Really good manners, things that their parents clearly don't have. It almost makes you wonder like where they're learning it from, and it's just insane. Something I also didn't realize, like the full extent of until I started working at Five Below, just how many iPad kids there are, bro. Like another thing with like parents just don't want to raise their kids nowadays. The second their kid turns like 3, 4, any age, old enough to where they can like walk and somewhat talk on their own, they just give them either a phone or like a tablet or some type of device, so they just don't have to watch them. They're just watching YouTube all day, watching Cocomelon all day, watching TikTok all day, watching Reels all day, watching YouTube Shorts all day, on and on, just forever on social media or just forever on streaming apps, just like not even like doing anything. And then I don't even get the point of bringing them into the store if they're just going to be glued to their device the whole time. It's just insane. Like, kids don't know how to do anything. And the thing is, all of them aren't even just like little ass kids like are talking about kids 3, 4, and 5. That's just when it starts. The screen time, it just goes up. It doesn't go down. So it's like by the time they're like 10 or 11, they don't even know how to be like using self-checkout. They don't know how to like count money. They don't know how to like check the price tags of things, like just basic shopping shit. And it's just like actually insane, as like they can't even like shop in the store and look for what they want without like being on TikTok or being on some type of social media. It's like crazy. Like I can only imagine what their screen time in a day must be. But on the other end of the spectrum, instead of like parents neglecting their kids, which there's also something which is like almost just as bad as like the completely other end, where like parents completely spoiling their kids, like, or like when raising them, just giving them whatever they want. There's so many like kids that are like 4, 5, 6 come in with their parents, and their parents will buy them like $200 plus worth of stuff, not even on their birthday, not even for some holiday, just as like a normal like Saturday afternoon for them, right? And it's just like, bro, at Five Below, $200 plus worth of stuff is an insane amount of things. Like that could be upwards of like 50, 60 toys or more, or like that could be so many tech items. That's so much food. Like that's actually just like so many items. That's like 2 carts worth of shit. And this would happen like 2, 3 times a day on like a Saturday, which might not sound like a lot, but our store was pretty slow, so that's like pretty frequent. And it's just like, bro, it's just insane. And then also there's like with the spoiling kids, just like never trying to tell their kids no to anything, even if their kids like causing mayhem in the store, breaking stuff, like just being a general nuisance. They'll never tell their kid no. They'll never try to imagine their kid in the wrong. Like they'll, like, for example, if their kid wants a toy and we're like, or just a specific item and we don't have it in the store, like we're sold out or we haven't gotten a shipment in yet, etc., like they will, or it's just something we just straight up don't carry, that like they'll always just like, their parents will hound us to like check in the back, and then we'll check in the back, we're like, we still don't have it. They're like, why don't you have it? Online they said it would have it, which is dumb because obviously not all Five Below locations carry the exact same stock. Also, sometimes we run out of stock or we don't have stock in yet, but we're going to have it, etc. And it's just like they just cannot accept their kid not having exactly what they want, the exact way it's gonna be. Like, it's insane. This is just like an overall summary of so many like different experiences and stories I have while working at this job. This is just like an overview of what I know, which is like that parents don't really know how to raise their kids anymore, or are just like doing a horrible job at it. Like, but I have so many like individual stories while working at this job. It's like crazy. And considering I was only working this job like a little over 2 months, the amount of stories I have is not what I expected, especially since our store was relatively small and like not popular. Like it was not in a high population area, so you wouldn't think I'd have this many stories, because some days probably only be like 100, maybe 200 people that come in compared to other stores which would have like in the thousands.
I know I cannot be the only one who absolutely always fucking hates summer reading, bruh. Like, I hated it growing up, I hate it now, and I think I will always hate it to the rest of the time I have to do it in my life, bro. Like, and the thing is, I'm already someone who doesn't particularly like to read. Like, I can read well, and I can do it when I have to, obviously, in school and whatnot. But the thing is, like, I'm not someone who like enjoys reading on their own time the most. Like, so when you're already forcing me to read, that already makes it like 5 times worse, you know, because just even if something you don't like doing or just like you don't mind doing, being forced to do it already makes it like exponentially less enjoyable, even if it's something you do like. But yeah, but since I don't like it, it's just like that much worse. So summer reading always just sucks for that reason. But bro, I swear they pick the worst, most boring like books to ever exist in the history of anything, bro. Like, the thing is, there are good books, there are books I'll find interesting, and there are books that will cover school subjects that I would probably find interesting. I've read enough books to know that, I'm just a smart enough person to know that. But like, I swear, in school they pick the most like boring, just fuck ass books written by some random ass author, but somehow it's a New York Times bestseller because they'd be handing those out to fucking anybody, bro. Like, I swear the books they give you in school are just like filler content, bro. Because after you finish reading them, writing your essay, writing your report, maybe if you're like really young, writing your 2 paragraphs or whatever the hell, like after you finish doing that, everything, every lesson, every whatever just goes out the fucking window. Because the book was just not interesting, not memorable, and you were just reading it for a grade. You didn't actually care about what you were reading. You're just taking information, going through your eyes, out through your brain. Like 2 weeks later, after the report's in, like the second you hit send, like it's just the most forgettable gobbledygook. Like, not like I would really have to struggle to find like a memorable scene or a memorable bit from a school book I've read, and I've been assigned like book readings like every summer since I was in fucking like 2nd grade, bro. It's insane. Some of the books are so boring that when you listen to an audiobook, it's like boring. Like, I'd listen to the audiobook of this book I had to read, right? And it's like I'm like listening to the background while doing other stuff, doing other homework and stuff, studying, and like, bro, I get more bored. Like, and I tried like listening to the audiobook just by itself, just so I could like really try to focus and take in the content of the book, right? And it was just so unbelievably boring, bro. Like, I swear, like I don't know if it's just that I because I'm not choosing to read the book, I'm just not passionate about it, so I just can't like get into it as much. But it's just like it's just so, oh my god. And I've watched like video essays on YouTube, documentaries, so many like other long pieces of educational media, and it's just like nothing is truly as boring as like audiobooks for like the book school assigned, bro. It's just actually like unbearable. And like, it's even worse if it's like an AI reading it and it's not like an actual person. And it's also bad if the person reading it is like emotionless, so it's like you can't even like relate to the characters for real. So then that just makes the whole experience much more boring, makes you care about everybody, everything, etc. in the book just much more less. Because like, bro, good books can be just as addicting as like good TV shows, good video games, etc. But I swear, just school just forcing you to read like all these books, all these like really bad and boring books that don't suit many children's interests at all, just makes so many people just like hate reading or just ruins reading and audiobooks as a whole for them. And it's just like, because I know like to some extent, like it's not just me, like I hear about the same thing with other people, but it's just like I just wanted to like rant about it because it's just so annoying, bro. Like I'm saying this now after like just like getting done with like a book report, and I had to listen to like the audio book for this thing, and we had to like write like a 2-page essay. Like,
the writing the essay is never actually the worst part, as long as you can like remember what you actually took in, which is kind of hard. But the essay is never actually the worst part. It's just like the having to get through the book, especially when it's something long and it's not just like a quick 1 or 2 day read, or an audio book just a quick like 1 or 2 day listen. When it's actually something like super long and boring, that's when it's like the worst. But I mean, I guess the good part about a long book is that if it's long and boring, you'll at least still remember like some things you can maybe write about for like your essay. But if it's like kind of only like 1 to 200 pages, like a really short book, and it's like boring, it's like, bruh, it was just super boring to get through. But then now you can like remember none of it. You don't have nearly as many evidence, quotations, etc. you can use to write your paper. So it's just like they're both just like bad in like different ways and have their different like downsides. And that's one thing, it's like when I get out of school there will probably be some things I'll miss, even though I absolutely fucking hate educate or I'm not gonna say I hate education, but I actually fucking just like hate school and something like that. Something that will happen once I'm done with school, bro, that I like won't miss at all is fucking book reports, bro. Like I might miss some social aspects and like some memories and like this nostalgia and all that, but like, bro, one homework, book reports, summer reading, all that can fucking die, bro. I swear to God, I'm gonna like I said, that would be the one thing once I walk out the walk out the doors, walk out the campus, whatever the fuck, with my graduation cap on. That's one thing I'm gonna not look back and miss at all, bro. When I have my diploma, I don't know, either in like a folder somewhere or hanging up in the wall, I'ma like reminisce on like good times I guess I had with like friends and like other shit. But I'm not gonna fucking be like, oh yeah, that book I read in motherfucking like 11th grade or 12th grade or whatever was fucking heater, bro. I should reread that. Like, nah, I'm never gonna feel like that. So I'm pretty late to talk about this, so you guys probably already heard, but there is a Cyberpunk Edge Runner Season 2 coming out, and honestly, my main thing is like the first season was really amazing. I just really hope this isn't some cash grab and they actually put some time, some effort into it and make a new, because there's going to be a new original story, they said. It's also going to take place in Night City, but it's like new characters, new cast, new story. And I just really hope they put the time and effort into making a really good, just new original story, and it's not just some like sequel just for the cash grab just because the first one was really good. I hope it's not like for example, like a Joker 2 situation. Something that I don't like though is that I swear they drop like the teasers and like the spoilers or whatever for these for these new shows, movies, etc. And then they tell you that it's gonna be coming out in like 2+ years, and it's like, bro, why would you get me excited for this, knowing I can't have it for such a long amount of time? Like I get it's the build hype and everything, but also that's another thing. The more hype you build, the more like chance of it being like a big disappointment. So as I said, I just really hope they put the time, the effort into making this as good, or at least like I don't even know if it's gonna be as good as the first season. That'd be a really, really high bar to reach. Like I said, I made a review in the first season and I gave it like a 9 out of 10. Like you can see the video on that. It's on my channel. But it's like, bruh, it's just that we all know that like sequels oftentimes aren't as good as the original. So I just want it to be like somewhat comparable. I just want it to also be good. But hey, maybe I'm being too close-minded. Maybe it'll even be better. I think that's a really low chance. But as long as it's in the same ballpark and it looks like they tried and they actually turned out something decent, I'll be happy because the Night City and then just the whole universe seems absolutely amazing. The game had a bit of a shaky start, but still a really cool game. The anime just had an overall amazing start. Amazing 10 episodes, not a single one that's bad or weak. Almost a perfect show, an absolute must watch. So it has a lot to live up to, but hey, at least if they're taking time, that gives me more hope that the animation will be good, just like it was good in the last one. The story will be good. The soundtrack is gonna be something that's especially hard to beat because it was absolutely fantastic in like the first season. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see, or actually not kind of. I'm really excited to kind of see what they come up with for this. But I just really hope that ends up being something decent. Because I think we can all think of at least one or two examples where a really good piece of media, have it be a show, a game, a movie, etc., where it will have an original season or original release and it'll be really good, and then later for a cash grab for money purposes they add on to it, and what they added on to it was so bad that it almost tainted the series of like the whole, like it taints the reputation of just the whole series, and it just really can take away enjoyment from the overall IP. Something that does seem to be a good sign, though, that this is going to actually be something decent is that it does look like they're keeping a lot of the same, like, team and workers that worked on the original, and now they're going to be working on the season 2, which is a good sign because it's the people that made the first one so great. So it does inspire confidence that maybe they can do it again. Because what's frequent with a lot of these super bad sequels, spin offs, etc., is that they get whole new directors, whole new teams, people that had nothing to do with the original IP, so they don't even know what they're doing. They don't really know the fans. They don't really just know anything about how to do it correctly. So that leads to a lot of bad, like I said, sequels, spin-offs, etc. But fortunately, that does not appear that's going to be the case here.
Alright, so today something happened to me that shouldn't happen to anyone, but unfortunately, it's happened to probably every person watching this video. A common tragedy, if you will. Today, I had to complete an activity that most people wouldn't do, even if it meant death for not doing it. What heinous activity this is, you're probably wondering? Let me tell you, I will hold this information from you no longer. I had to take a shit at school. I know your heart is probably racing from hearing that shocking conniption I was in earlier today, so I'll give you a few minutes to calm down and catch your breath. So now you're probably thinking, why? Why did I do this heinous activity at school? Was it for the enjoyment? Was it for the thrill? Am I a weirdo that likes to shit at school instead of shit at home like normal people? No, of course not. I just simply couldn't wait. See, what happened is this: I pulled up the school, right? And first period goes by and I have a bit of a stomach ache, but I'm not sure if it's like just my stomach just hurts kind of, or if I'm hungry, or if it's because I have to use the bathroom. Now I'm into second periods, and what you should know is that the first 2 periods of my day are double periods, so I have the same class back to back that last 2 periods. So at the start of the second double period, I start realizing that this hurt in my stomach is that I have to use the bathroom and I'm holding it in. So now it's like, fuck. Because I know it's not, I just have to pee. I know it's that I have to shit. And obviously, I don't want to shit at school. I'm currently a junior at the school that I'm at. And I've still in the 3 years I've been here, I've only had to shit one other time at school. And that was like halfway into freshman year or so. Normally, if this sensation presents itself and I realize I'm gonna have to shit, I try to see if I can hold it, and normally I am able to, but you have to realize this is just the start of the second period of the day. There's a total of 8 periods. It's like 9 o'clock. I know I'm not gonna be able to hold this till like 3 something when I get home, right? So I'm just like, fuck it. No point of putting my stomach and stuff through this trying to hold it while I know I won't be able to. I raise my hand and I go to the bathroom. And while I'm at the bathroom, I make sure to like do it safe. I calculate which bathroom in my head is gonna be least likely to have absolutely anyone in it, and I went to that bathroom. Luckily, my prediction was spot on because when I entered, there was no one in the bathroom. So I go into the farthest stall from the door, or like from where people would be if someone does come in, which our bathrooms are pretty small, so it wasn't really far at all, but still, I went to the farthest. And I made sure to cover the toilet seat in double folded toilet paper. And then I did the deed. But I made sure to do that shit as fast as fucking possible. Because at this point, I was in the bathroom alone. Something I know wouldn't last. So in order to not get caught by anyone for taking a shit at school, I went as fast as I did, got the deed done, and literally as I was like turned around in the stall pulling my pants up,
someone entered the bathroom. But at this point, I already knew I was in the green because of the way I was standing, pulling my pants up. It would have looked like I was just peeing in the stall, which is pretty common activity because it's just you just want your privacy or whatever. So luckily, I was good in this case, and no one caught me shitting at school. But it's still scary to think about all the germs I could have soaked through the toilet paper onto my derriere. And it's also still scary to think about the possibility that if this were to happen again, I could get caught, even worse by someone I know, and gain the reputation of someone who shits at school.
I just want to get on here and say I know life be getting hard, my nigga. I feel you. But sometimes you got no other choice in life than just to lock in and accept it. Like yesterday was one of those days where shit was just not going my way. The day just started off bad. I was late to school because the trains were fucked up. And in my first period class, I was already getting yelled at over some unrelated dumb shit for a group project that wasn't even my fault, or any of my other group mates' fault, as a matter of fact. Basically, putting a long story short, I'm in a film course, and in this film course, for a project we need to film something in a particular room in like a building. And in order to film in that room, you have to have approval and supervision. And we've been taking all the adequate, like, precautions to get, like, supervision and, like, approval and stuff to do the, like, filming here for, like, certain days. But people, and getting the approval and getting them to open it has been fine. But getting them to, like, actually have someone to show up to supervise us to use the room just hasn't been going well because people have just kept flaking and stuff, so then we can't film. And my professor is just getting really mad at me for that, which is dumb because it's literally, like, not in our control at all. And shit just kept going downhill after that. When I had gym later in the day, I was playing basketball and someone was running by like in the middle of the gym while we were playing basketball, and I like moved back to like dodge them and like fell back on my ankle and like injured myself, and now I'm like stumbling around. I can like barely walk. I'm like hobbling and shit. Like, the dumb thing is about this story is that after I fell back on my like ankle and like fucked it up, is I still actually tried to cause we started off right, and before this happened, before anyone scored a point, so it was 0-0. I fell back on my ankle and got injured, and I decided to still play out the rest of the game. The game maybe lasted around 15 minutes roughly, right? And by the end of the game, the score was like 8-0 or like 9-0, whatever, with me like losing to the other person, right? Because bro, my ankle was like actually fucked up. I could barely walk, much less like play basketball, guard someone, get rebounds and shit. So I was low-key doing not that bad considering like the circumstances and shit. But I really should have just like sat down and rested my ankle, because then this would have maybe like healed faster. Because keep in mind, I also like had to go home, like I had to like walk to the train station, get off the train station and like walk to my house. Like all that, putting all that weight on it still, bruh, like probably not like ideal. But hey, I'm gonna recover, I'm gonna get through it. I'm not gonna give up. If I just keep like complaining about it, that's not really gonna do anything. All I can really do is just like push forward and just like try to do my best, my nigga. Like, what can I really do like more than that? Like, I just gotta try to be the best version of myself and like not let this stop me. Cause in the real world, when I get older and just like other aspects of life, I'm gonna have things that are gonna push me. I just have to do my best to try to like overcome them. Just hope my ankle isn't injured for like too much longer. Like, it's been about like 30 hours roughly since the accident, and it hurts like 80% less, and I've regained like roughly 50% of my walking ability, so I think I should be good. And I notice every time I take like a nap or anything like that, it heals a significant amount. So I think once I just do some more sleep and shit like that, I should be good. I have class tomorrow. I hope I'll be able to pull up to that, but I don't know, I'll see. Can't get through my school with a hurt ankle though would actually be like cooked. Because I live in New York City, the buildings, when you need to make them big, instead of making them like wider, they just make them taller. So my building has like 14 floors in total, which is like a lot more than like schools other places probably have. I'd imagine. I feel like most of the schools probably only got like 1, 2, 3 floors type shit. So just trying to go up all these different floors, like sometimes between classes you could easily have it where you have to go like 5, 6 floors between a class. So it's just like having to walk all of that in like a short amount of time with a hurt ankle and like with like 1,500 people crammed in such like a short amount of space. Like, bruh, it's just a cook scenario. Like, and there's actually like a few disabled kids at my school. Like they have elevator passes and shit, but I still don't get how they like do that, bruh. Like, it still just must be rough for them. Respect to them though, because they like literally the definition of what I said in the top of this video, or like the start of this video, bro. They like not giving up, accepting, and still like going through and doing the most to try to get the best education, bro. Like, you really can't have nothing but respect for that. Speaking about education, shit hasn't been perfect with that either. I had a test in math like earlier this week, bro, and I'm pretty sure I got like a 60, 70 in that. Like, I think I passed maybe, but I did not do good on that if I passed, bruh. Like, I swear. And I like did the review, I did the homework for that shit, and I passed like the review sheet and shit. Bruh, I like studied and I still didn't do good on that, bruh. So that low-key got me worried for like how the rest of this like marking period and the rest of the year gonna go, bruh. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to just push through, study harder, go to tutoring, I guess. Like, maybe speak to my like professors after class or some shit, bro. But I don't even know, man. Cause this is the second math test I've had of the year, and this is the one I studied, I would say, more on than the first one. And the first one I studied a little bit on it. I did maybe like an hour or two of review, and I got like an 80 on that, which, you know, isn't like horrible. But this one I like studied more on because like I was like actually a little bit worried about it, and I was worried rightfully so, because even though I haven't got the grade back, this shit felt hard. I don't know. I'm hoping maybe it'll be one of those things where it's like the test just feels hard, but you actually do pretty good. So maybe I'll come back with a grade better than I'm expecting. But I don't know, bro. I'm like preparing my mind for the worst. But I don't know, if I don't do well, I guess I'll just have to do a retake. It is what it is at the end of the day. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping, and I want to thank you for your time. I genuinely hope whoever listening to this honestly has the best possible day and the best possible future. And even when it feels like you all alone, nigga, just know that even though I don't know you, and you probably live like all across the world hella away from me, I genuinely hope you do the best, bruh. Cause like, from a real nigga to a real nigga, like, we all just gotta look out for each other and hope we all just achieve what we want to achieve in life, bruh. Cause I low-key just want everyone to be happy. So anyways, just have a good day. Peace. Okay, so I just watched the Invincible Season 4 trailer, and here are my thoughts. I'm really excited, but I hate how they getting us excited for this good animation when I know the whole actual season is not gonna look this good, bro. It never looks as good as they do with these teaser trailers, I swear. Because this teaser trailer by Invincible standards actually looks gorgeous, bro. It does give me good hopes about the writing, though, because this teaser trailer was very funny and very interesting to watch. I also like all the references they made to the memes and to the community. It does show that they care, and they see what the community are saying and see like what they say with like the direction on the show and stuff. But back to the other thing I was saying, there's no way they get the animation looking this good and they get it out by March 2026. I'm thinking they either delay it and it's gonna look good, which is what I'm hoping for, because I'd rather them take the time they need and have it be like decent, or what they've kind of done in the past is they might like rush it to get it out at March, and it's not gonna look nearly this good. But I don't know, maybe I'm being too doubtful. Maybe the final product will end up being even better than this. I don't know. But something I'm so happy they did is Mark mentioning how his fans say he never wins fights, because that was just like so funny, and it's such like a true thing with like the show. Because I remember I was like, when I was watching it for the first time, like with the first 2 seasons, I was like, yo, this guy wins almost like in none of his fights. But then he slowly does start slowly start winning, and that's what makes it like interesting. So some mentioning that in the trailer is just like really funny and really made it more like made me like it a lot more. But I really hope in season 4 that at least they dedicate at least like a segment of an episode to like those really cool like robot prosthetics they got Mark wearing, because some shits look tough, not gonna lie. Bruh, in the show when they introduce Thrag, they better include some type of barber reference, hairline reference, or like hair reference or something like that. I swear. And this teaser trailer is giving me like good hopes that they will, with all the references. Like I said, Mark bringing up how they say his fans never win, like the where season 5 William, shit like that. So there's definitely like, I think, hope that they will do something like that, because Brett, it would be absolutely hilarious. And also it gives me more hope because they released like what Thrive's gonna look like, and his hairline is looking crisp. They kept it accurate to the comic, so I'm in high hopes that they will do something like that. I also hope they just release the season in one part, because I know in the past they've released it in like 2 parts, and for me that's just like really annoying, because it's like, bruh, it's a season. If you want to release it in 2 parts, just make it 2 separate seasons. But what's the point of having 2 parts in one season? To me that just defeats the point of a season. So I hope they just drop it in like 1 part, because that just like kills the suspense and you kind of forget about the show and don't like care about it as much when it comes back. And then when you come back you kind of don't remember everything, so everything doesn't hit as hard. It's just like, bruh, just please, just 1 season, please. And I feel like I'm definitely not the only one who feels like that. Like, I've heard some other people also agree that they don't like when like shows have like seasons, like part 1 and 2 or part whatever. Like an example of another show doing it is like Attack on Titan, where they would divide all the seasons into different parts and stuff. But anyways, overall this is really giving me hope, and it's getting me really excited for the show. I've been honestly already really excited for Invincible season 4. I started actually just like, I found out about Invincible really around season 3 when like that came out, so it was like popular and people were talking about it. And I watched all 3 seasons and I fell in love with it, and then I read the comics and stuff, and it's just been really interesting, and this is giving me a lot of good hope that season 4 is going to be interesting and that it's going to be good. So yeah, anyways, have a good day. Okay, so I just watched both the trailers for Black Phone 2, and it doesn't look horrible, but I'm a bit concerned, to be honest. And the primary reasoning for that is just that with the first Black Phone movie, with the way that it ended and stuff, it really just didn't feel like there needed a sequel, or that like there was even like room left for one. This kind of just feels like the tale old as time, where like super rich companies will make a successful movie that wasn't intended for a sequel but does really good, so then they make a sequel in order for just to get more money, and then that sequel like doesn't really make up with the story or just isn't as good, and it's just a cash grab. And I'm not necessarily saying that's what this is, but that's kind of what it feels like, just considering how well like the first story ended and how it really didn't feel like we needed a second movie, at least in my personal opinion. I will give the team behind Black Phone 2 and Universal Pictures some credit though. Both of these 2 trailers were very strong and made me very intrigued and very interested in the movie, and it actually did help restore some faith that this might actually be a decent movie and not just some cash grab. I just want to take a second to talk about the cinematography in both of these shots, in both of these trailers. Just looking at the shots, so many of them are absolutely beautiful. I'm talking gorgeous. And good cinematography is something that's in a lot of movies nowadays, so a lot of people kind of just brush over it and kind of ignore it, but I do always like to highlight that because I'm in film myself, and it's just something I like to see in movies. And I do think cinematography can play a big role in elevating a film. Like, I think cinematography can take what would be, especially in horror, like what would be like a basic, not super scary movie, to like a really strong piece that unnerves you as you watch it. And that was another thing in these 2 trailers. It seems like there's definitely going to be a stronger supernatural element in Black Phone going forward, which I'm not sure exactly how I feel about. I feel like if they execute it well, it can make it a lot more interesting, and it can be something that's extremely cool and unique to the series. But there's also a chance they do
do it in a really shitty and really bad way, and it ruins the IP. It's kind of hard to judge which it will actually be until the movie comes out and, you know, we can see it in its entirety. We're just judging off of trailers and teasers right now. I'm not gonna lie though, the second trailer does have me a little bit worried. Like, maybe this is just me having an L take and an L opinion on this, but when watching the second trailer, when they show some of the supernatural elements, where it's like the characters being attacked by someone invisible, being like kind of like choked and thrown around, and it's like obviously they can see them, but like the other characters, when they're in the room, they just see like nothing. Like they see the character being thrown around like into walls and being choked and stuff, but they can't see what's doing it. But for me, when they show that, like, even with the music and the sound effects that kind of try to make it more, like, suspenseful, I feel like it just looks kind of goofy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just holding it to too high of standards, because the first Black Phone I felt was really strong and pretty scary compared to modern horror films. But I feel like this just kind of doesn't really hold up to the, like, kind of unnervingness and, like, actual true, like, I don't know, fear, I guess, the first one invoking you, because this feels kind of like just like cheap thriller almost, kind of. But I don't know, like I said, this could be too early to judge. This still has room to be really good. It's just, like I said before, a little bit concerning. Also, those scenes where they have her like spinning out of bed, like, am I bugging, or does this just look kind of like goofy to me? I don't know. Like obviously if this were to be happening to you or to like one of your loved ones or some shit, this would be terrifying. But like looking at this from like as a viewer in like a movie, I don't know, this shit is kind of like, I don't know. Maybe this is just me having a bad opinion. But it's coming out on the 17th, so I plan on watching it soon after it comes out, so I'll make a review and discuss if it does end up just being a cheap cash grab sequel that's not very good, or if it's actually something decent, or maybe even better than the original. I don't think there's much of a chance of that, but you know, it's always possible. So that's basically it. Have a good day.
Alright, so I just watched the finale of Gen V Season 2 and I need to talk about it. I just want to start off by saying that I'm actually overall really enjoying Gen V Season 2, even more than Season 1, and it's actually one of my most favorite things in the boys universe so far. It has been amazing so far. Overall, way better than I expected, and I'm actually really sad that it's not doing as good as they thought it would, because like you don't really see anyone talking about it on social media, especially in comparison to other shows and other things that are going on right now, which is a shame because it's actually like really good. Even the finale, even though I'm about to start pointing out some flaws with it, it was still overall pretty good. There was just this one final scene which pissed me off so bad while watching it. Way in the final episode, they were about to have the most cliche like throw in the end, because Marie was giving some fuck ass hero speech and some like I get to a point that it was so cliche and so obvious that's almost supposed to probably be part of the joke, but like, bro, it just was pissing me off so hard while watching it. I was like, bro, stop giving your like with the power of friendship speech or whatever and just like kill him already. Like, and also her speech was pretty like fucking dumb, because she was like, even the useless ones of us, when like referring to the squad that she pulled up with to like beat him after they like popped out his ass. Like, but the thing is, literally, like, none of their powers were useless. Like, yeah, some of them were, like, weird and, like, unconventional, yeah, sure. But none of those, even I don't think Godolkin would consider useless at all. Like, even the guy whose main power is just fitting stuff of his butt, we even saw in that episode how useful that power could be. Even, like, the Chameleon Girl, her power was OP because she could even copy Godolkin's thing for a moment, which they nearly sold. Which, by the way, the Chameleon Girl came in clutch by being able to copy the power for like a minute and like be able to stop everyone from being controlled and stuff, but they nearly sold that with that whole Marie long ass fuck ass hero speech, which like I said didn't even make sense because no one's powers were useless. Like, I get that that was probably just setting it up so they could have polarity bust in and have like his cool moment, which I did like. But I feel like they could have at least like set it up better or written it better. Cause that speech at the end was like fucking horrible. I'm sorry. It was just like so dumb. And it was so aggravating to watch, like, yo, no way you're about to sell this. Let him hop inside your head and kill everyone because you hesitated to give some speech. And like, bro, there was just I was like, for me, it was just too cliche, too dumb, too like, because it's like you knew they weren't going to like end it this way where they sold, but it was still so annoying to watch them just like do this and watch them like potentially, I guess, sell. Like, bro, I don't know. It was just making me mad. Maybe I'm childish. Like, this short bit in the finale is really my only major gripe, I'm not gonna lie. Other than that, I've really enjoyed, like I said, almost all of the second season, way more than the first season, and I did enjoy the first season. The first season of Gen V, in my opinion, was very strong. Honestly, this might be a bit of a hot take, a bit of a stretch. I think that season 2 of Gen V is actually the strongest thing released in the boys universe so far. Keyword so far because there's still gonna be what's it called, season 5 of the boys. There's still going to be Vought Rising, that new show they talked about, and then potentially, hopefully, a season 3 of Gen V. But like, honestly, I really think this is the strongest things in the boys universe so far. And I will admit it is close because the boys has had some really strong seasons and some really funny bits and some really like good parts, but I feel like the writing and the overall like story arc is actually better in Gen V cuz like, bro, I did not expect that twist, I'm being honest, where it found out that the guy that was being burned, or the guy that was like burned up in the tube, was actually like, or like, I knew that was Godolkin, but I didn't know that it was him controlling someone else's body this whole time, and that there was puppets and so, like, that's good writing. That was a good twist. It was unpredictable, it was interesting, it developed the story. It was like an interesting concept. It was unique. Like, that was really good, and I feel like we don't see stuff like that as much in the boys universe, or in like the main boys series, I guess. The way I would describe it is I feel like the boys is kind of like a show that prioritizes comedy and then has like a interesting story element on top on the side. Genevieve feels like it's a story and it has like a comedy aspect on the side. Like, it seems like the boys seems like more comedy oriented than Gen V. Gen V seems like they're trying to do maybe a bit more of the story, I guess, because it's like a spin-off. And I really hope they do something similar to that with Vought Rising. And if they do a season 3 of Gen V, I hope they keep doing what they're doing, what they did with this, because this was really good. Like, I will admit, it sounds like I'm glazing it, but like, just considering how I see absolutely like no one talking about it on social media and how it's out right now and how it's underperforming, I do want to talk about like how like it's good considering like how I feel like no one else is talking about it. So I feel like I have to mention it since no one else is, to be honest. But yeah, that's basically all I had to say. Peace. Okay, so I just watched all 4 episodes of My Hero Academia final season, and here are my thoughts so far. To keep it short and sweet, so far this season is very, very good. I mean, my expectations were high, and this exceeded them still. And you know the season is good because I've been a long time generational Bakugo hater, and I'm not gonna lie, they made Bakugo look cool, they made Bakugo look tough. This most recent fight where he saved All Might and took down All for One, this was Aura. I'm not even gonna lie, this shit was cool as hell. I was looking for every opportunity to hate, but I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't even find one, not gonna lie. 4 episodes also have me really excited for what's gonna be next in like the rest of the final season. The animation for all the fights and the action was amazing, just as I expected in all 4 episodes. My only major gripe was that unnecessary fan service scene in the first episode with the invisible girl. I knew this shit was going to be inevitable because it's My Hero Academia and they have a long history of being guilty of this shit, but like, come on, man. Like, they literally had no reason to need to add that scene in there at all. I guess like another super small micro issue I have, and this isn't even anything big because this is just like typical like anime, just whatever. It's just I do feel like the power scaling of like things is like a little bit messed up because they did definitely buff the fuck out of Bakugo for this fight, because like, bruh, how do you go from like almost like dead to like now being strong enough to take down All For One. Like, obviously, All For One, was like not at full power, and like he already had to go through all that shit with All Might and like other stuff trying to stop him. I understand that, but Bakugo was also like literally like in shambles on the brink of death. So it's kind of like, and considering I don't even think before he was at All Might level. I mean, like they definitely like buffed the shit out of him, and it kind of I feel like messes things kind of, or I'm not gonna say like it messes things up, but it does kind of make things confusing for now, like how who ranks as far as like who's the strongest in like the class, and also just like who's the strongest in like the series as a whole, now that they made Bakugo this strong in this fight for All For One. Like I said, it's a cool fight. I'm happy it happens, and I'm like much glad they did this rather than they didn't. It's just something I'm a bit confused about, because even like with that like huge ass like laser explosion they bringing down on All For One, All For One was like withstanding that and like it not really affecting them like that crazy. Yet one of Bakugo's like explosions like hurt All For One a lot more than that whole huge ass like tech laser. Like how, like you saw how huge the explosion was from that laser. Stain was able to see it from like 50 miles away. You're telling me one of Bakugo's explosions was that much stronger than that? Like, it's just a little bit confusing to me, but like I said, maybe I'm just wrong and this is logical power scaling, but for me it feels like it kind of just threw things a little bit off. But this is like a super niche like micro complaint. I don't want to speak too early and jinx it, but I think if this season keeps up the same momentum that's currently been going out with these first 4 episodes, this has the possibility to be the strongest season in My Hero Academia history. Because everything down to the animation, the writing, the references to like past events in the story, how they've been highlighting different characters, it's just been like flawless, perfect. Like, I'm not even trying to glaze, but it's just been like actually very good and surprising. Because like, don't get me wrong, My Hero Academia has always been like a good show, but this season is really like starting to elevate it in my mind of like how I ranked it comparing to like other shows, and how I rank it among like shows that I like and my favorites, and like other shows I liked and how it compares to that. I said I don't want to jinx it, but this is setting my expectations for the future of like the rest of the season very high. I'm talking about animation and fights a lot, but I also just want to touch on like this season hasn't just been doing animation and fights, even though it's been doing that very well. It's also been help fleshing out the story and giving important background to characters and important insights that like help us, like I said, understand the story and understand the plot going forward better. This season has been really good at help building like emotion up within you while watching it. The soundtrack has been amazing. My Hero soundtracks have always been amazing, not gonna lie, even since it's like the creation. That's something that's always been really strong with the series. But yeah, that's basically it. Peace. Alright, so I just watched the Demon Slayer movie and I'm about to talk about it. And before I get comments saying this is like hella late and nobody cares, I already know, bruh, but respectfully, I was not gonna go to the theater and pay for that shit, bruh. I didn't want to watch a super shitty, low-quality cam version, so I waited for there to be a better version available online. Let's go get it out the way. The movie was very good, and obviously, the thing everyone's gonna be talking about is, ooh, the animation, and the animation was absolutely exquisite. I don't know how Demon Slayer does it, but like every single time they drop a season, it just manages to somehow be better than the last one, which doesn't even seem fathomable because all of the animations and all of this season seem like the new like peak of what we've seen, but this manages to one up it even more. I really want to talk about more than the animation, because the animation in Demon Slayer has always been good, is the story. And not that this story of Demon Slayer has been bad, but it's been pretty simple and like basic. But this actually, like story-wise, writing-wise, was very strong compared to anything else in the Demon Slayer movie. Like, this actually, like, was a shocking amount of, like, a backstory, and, like, when they were doing Akasa's backstory, that was really in-depth, well-written, and, like, emotional, and even just, like, other demons and, like, other characters they touched on.
It was just written amazingly. I really didn't expect, like I said, Demon Slayer's writing isn't like bad, it's just a pretty simple basic story, kind of in like the same tier, I would say. Probably a little bit better, but I would say in the same realm of like something like Solo Leveling. But this definitely took a big step up with this movie. Speaking of character backstories though, they did Shinobu, the fucking insect Hashira, dirty. Like her whole family, her whole like backstory, she got hoed, bro. Everyone in Demon Slayer got a tragic backstory, but she got like hoed especially, bruh. Young as hell, both her parents get smoked by demons. Tragic. And then her and her sister go on this whole character arc. They get stronger so they can like protect people from demons. And then her sister gets smoked by a demon like instantly. Like they ain't even like, a lot of characters in Demon Slayer, when they die, they'll at least make them go down with like a fight. Like they'll give them a dog moment. Like for example, like Rengoku. But like her sisters just got smoked instantly. Didn't even land a hit on the demon. And then your sister, after getting smoked, was like, nah, he's too powerful. Just give up, gang. But you don't give up. And then you keep honing your skills for years and years and years. And then you come back, the 1v1, the demon that killed your sister. And then you do your absolute best. Pull out all your tricks, give it all you got, just to not even hurt him barely. He smokes you and in front of your student and then absorbs your powers, gang, or absorbs you into his body. That is crazy work. They hold the absolute fuck out of her. Because he really was just shaking off the poison like it was nothing. They really had all of her legs work, all of her buildup, really for nothing. And then on top of that, you got smoked in front of your student? Like, damn, bro. Like, bro, I know people gotta be pissed because they did her dirty. A character that changed a lot, though, was Zenitsu. Zenitsu was always my favorite character in Demon Slayer, but in this movie, he was on a whole different type of timing, and I loved every second of it, bro. Like, I swear, not only they be sleeping on Zenitsu in the show, but the whole fandom be sleeping on him, to be honest. Bro pulled up on some nonchalant shit and just smoked an upper 6 demon that was literally used to be his op. Crazy. And got get back for his gramps. And this was all after the Demon Slayer Corps were like, oh no, we need to send backup. Zenitsu not gonna be able to do it. Nah, upper 6 1v1. Crazy. Like, I don't think y'all know how much of a feat that is, bro. Like, remember the other upper 6, the first upper 6 demon we got introduced to, bro? It literally took Zenitsu, Inosuke, Tanjiro, and Ahashira just to bring down that one, bro. And then Zenitsu now pulling up on some nonchalant shit defeats one on his own. That's aura, bro. In my personal opinion, that's more aura and more of a feat than Tanjiro and the water Hashira jumping fucking Akaza, in my personal opinion. Not to mention the way he did it took him down with his own form that he invented, bro. Tough as shit. And he wasn't even really asleep. He was awake and just smoking niggas straight on timing, bro. The pussy Zenitsu as we knew it is gone, bro. He's locked in. He is dialed, bro. Speaking of aura farming though, Tanjiro's fucking dad, bruh. There was no reason for him to bring Tanjiro into that forest to just smoke that bear. Absolutely, he didn't even have to smoke that bear in that type of way. And honestly, I don't even get why he tried talking to the bear. He knew damn well the bear wasn't gonna understand that shit. He just wanted to like make a threat beforehand to like seem cool, bro. Look, he had no reason to do that, bro. This was actual just like peak aura farming shit. And I ain't complaining because it was cool as fuck to watch, but I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of funny, bro. Keep in mind, they have no way of knowing that this was gonna end up being like a useful core memory for Tanjiro later on during this fight and during his life, right? So from Tanjiro's POV up until that fight with Akaza, he just had this random memory where one time his dad just woke him up in the middle of the night to show him smoking a bear. Like, I was talking about this before, and I want you to keep in mind I have not like read any manga or anything like this, so all of this, as I was watching it, was me hearing about it for the first time. I did not know they were going to develop as Akaza as much and as well as they did, and I'm really happy that they did because it was really interesting to watch. And Akaza is another character who, not as much as like the insect Hashira, but he also got fucking hoed, bruh. Like, his whole life was just like shit, and he's lashing out on the world, and then finally he has this one opportunity where like stuff finally starts to go right for him, and then he just gets like cooked on some bitch shit, like his wife and like his, I guess, like bro, like basically his like stepdad or like father figure at this point, just get like poisoned because they were afraid to run the ones. Crazy, bro. Like those samurai or like whatever, those warriors, whatever, were really on some bitch shit, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm being honest, I ain't even really mad at bro for becoming a demon. And once bro realized he was on the wrong side of history and what he had to do, he smoked himself, bro. Like, I really can respect it. This also sets up the first two demons to be like insanely strong, because Akuza was literally able to regenerate his head and could have been like just purely immortal, but he just chose to do the right thing, and he's only number 3. Like, that's crazy. But the thing that pisses me off and will always piss me off about Demon Slayer is that get you so hyped for like the next season, or I guess in this case now the next movie, and then it's like, bruh, like, because they're doing movies now, this is gonna take even longer. Like, this is not coming out until like late 2027, I think, bruh. Like, I felt like the seasons, bruh, I felt like they came out faster than that. Like, it felt like it took them like a year and a half. But this is gonna be like, bruh, like a full 2 years, I guess, bruh. And I hate it, bruh. But it is what it is. Anyways, the movie was good, but I wish it wasn't a movie. I wish it was, or at least I wish they put it on streaming or whatever, so I wouldn't have to watch a cam version. Honestly, by the way, I'll speak at this at the start. At first, I like held off at watching the movie because I didn't want to watch like a shitty low quality cam version. But finally, I found like a version that like I thought wasn't even like cam because it was so high quality. But I realized that like halfway through the movie, like someone walked up and like got up, and I saw them like their head pop into the bottom for the frame for a second, and I realized it was cam. And I was like, yo, did the person filming this break in with a fucking shotgun microphone and like a Sony FX6? How is this like so fucking HD quality where I couldn't even realize it was cam? Like, the audio was clear, crisp, the fucking video was like perfectly lined up, you couldn't see like any glare or anything. Like, it just looked like it was actually screen recording until I saw that person's head go across the bottom, bruh. Like, how'd you even get that good of a video in, like, in the theater? Like, not even complaining, I was just like surprised. But anyways, that's about it. Have a good day. I just watched a new Chainsaw Man movie, or I guess in internet terms it's probably not that new and everyone forgot about it already. But I just watched it, and basically I expected it to be good, and it lived up to all the expectations. The animation was immaculate, the music and like the soundtrack and all of that, like SFX, all of that stuff, amazing. Just like the Chainsaw Man anime, it had plenty of funny moments, but also plenty of like serious and like deep and like emotional moments too. It was also filled with many, I guess we can just call it, well, Chainsaw Man moments. Some of which I low-key don't even think I can show on YouTube, to be honest. Not even because of copyright reasons, just because of like, you know. That stood out for me at this movie that I need to talk about though is Denji is just too forgiving of women, bruh. I'm sorry. Like, I get it's part of its character, but it gets to a point, bruh. Cause tell me why after he defeated her and they're like washed up on the beach, he was basically just willing to like forgive her for everything, bruh. Like, gang, she nearly killed the guy who like did like the shark dude who did everything to save your life, bro. Come on. Like, gang, this bitch basically just set off a nuclear bomb in fucking Japan. Like, this bro, you see the mushroom cloud on this shit? This shit was bigger than Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined, bro. This was like 15 9/11s she did on Tokyo or whatever city in Japan this is. This was like thousands of people dead, and you ready to forgive her, bro? Come on, gang. Like, bro, I know it cannot be that good, bro. She is not that fine to justify this bullshit, gang. You gonna forgive her for this, bro? Not only did she kill all these like thousands of people and like your like new best friend Shark Boy, she also just killed like almost all your colleagues in front of your ass. Like, what? And nearly killed you like 3 times, my guy. Like, you gotta stand up for yourself, bro. You deserve better. You shouldn't want her, gang. When you remove the comedic aspect of it and really just like look at it, bro, like Denji's whole life is actually so cooked, not gonna lie. Bro's broke, no education, like forced into like a dangerous job at age 16, constantly being taken advantage of and put in dangerous situations by the people around him. Like, all of this while he's literally a kid is low-key sad as fuck if you like remove all the comedic aspects around it, bro. I think this movie also did do a good job of developing Denji more as like a character and like a human. Like, we like saying that Denji was like underdeveloped before, but we definitely got to see more of him as like how he reacts, how he thinks, like his mindset kind of. That's made very clear for like multiple points of this movie. His mental state is just like not good, bruh. Which makes sense considering all the like the fucked up situations he's put through and like everything he's going through at this age, but it's just wild, not gonna lie. Something for me though that this movie, like my one gripe if I had to have one, is that I felt like the ending for me did kind of feel like a little flat. Like, it was very clear that they were trying to like get you to feel bad for like the girl getting like killed at the end before she could like see Denji like one more time at the cafe or whatever. But like, bruh, we just saw her commit like a genocide of like thousands of people at least, and then we did see her like try to kill like Denji as well as like multiple other like favorite characters in the show. Like, what reason do we have to feel bad for her at the end? Like, someone who've never read the manga though, this movie low-key has me wondering like how strong are these devils and these villains gonna like actually get, bruh? Cause like they already setting off like basically nuclear explosions in like the city and stuff, and this isn't even like the strongest characters yet in like the series. Like, how OD does this get? The way, real quick, they need to give all the love and respect to Shark Boy. He was going crazy this movie, and he was coming in fucking clutch, bro. Like, he was moving fast, he was moving efficiently, he was on timing this whole movie, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, at the start of the movie, I thought I was gonna hate him, I thought I wasn't gonna like him, I thought he wasn't gonna be on anything. But you know what they say, never judge a book by its cover, and that's especially true here, bruh. He went brazy, bro. There are so many points throughout this movie where Denji would have just straight up died if it wasn't for Shark Boy, I'm not gonna lie. He was playing his assist role to the max, and he was playing it well, bro. He was dodging, weaving, ducking, and moving fast as fuck, bro. Like, they couldn't even catch him with the explosions. He was just moving differently, bro. Overall, great movie. Recommend you watch it. I'll probably watch the sub version though, because in my personal opinion, like the dub voices are like really annoying. Like, I was watching like on the site, I was watching the dub version at first, and I was like, bro, I cannot do this shit like that. Like the breath, like I'm not someone who's always hates on like people for watching dub anime for whatever, but I just can't stand the voices of the characters in the Chainsaw Man dub. I'm sorry, but that's about it. Peace. Okay, so I was rewatching Avatar recently with my friend, and we just about made it to season 3, and we're about a decent way through season 3, and one of the episodes we rewatched the other day was the beach episode. If you watched Avatar The Last Airbender like all the way through, like all 3 seasons, you probably know what I'm talking about. Season 3 episode 5. The official name of the episode is The Beach, but some people call it the Ember Island episode. Either way, you probably know what I'm talking about. Something that occurred to me rewatching it that didn't occur to me as much the first time watching it is how much self-control Zuko had in this episode, bro. Like, honestly, I get that Zuko's supposed to kind of be like the lashing out anger guy sometimes, but in this episode he actually was like being pretty reasonable for most of it. I'm gonna keep it a buck, everyone around was just straight up bullshitting, bro. Like, you can argue that he did crash out at the end after they came back from like the campfire and kind of like exploded the whole house party and shit, but before that he was actually letting everything slide, I'm not gonna lie. This whole episode, May was just straight up being a bitch, I'm not even gonna lie. And then how when I'm getting up to get you food, you're gonna start talking to another dude, and when I come back try to gaslight me into saying that I'm wrong and that I'm like the one being like an asshole here. And you're gonna have him and his buddy kick me out the party and call you me loser boy, and you're not gonna say nothing? That's crazy. Zuko, like if I was Zuko in that position and I had like the power he has, the whole party just exploded right there, everyone dying. I would have done the same thing he did when he fought that dude in that village. I would have been like, I am the Prince of the Fire Lord, bitch. Like, you not doing this. Boom, whole house exploded, smoking you, bruh. You not just finna disrespect me like this. But he just let it slide. He just walked away from it. Like, yeah, he broke a vase and all that, but come on, bruh. Like, this was actually peak self-control for him. I'm not even gonna lie. Back to what I was saying before, May, this whole episode was just so bitchy, bro. Maybe this is me. Maybe this is a hot take and an uncommon opinion. I do not like May, bruh. Like, yeah, she kind of had a redemption in the end, I'm not gonna lie. But, like, for most of the series, she's just fucking annoying, bruh. I'm not gonna lie, if I was in Zuko's position after this, I'm not getting back with May, bro. Like, she just disrespected to your face, and then let other people disrespect you, and she's being rude to you, and it seemed like she, like, barely cares about you, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Zuko deserved better, bro. Like, I'ma keep it a buck. Zuko betraying Iroh to hang around with Azula and May's bitch ass is one of the most horrible sells in, like, anime history. Like, that is one of the worst decisions ever. Actively choosing to be on the wrong side of history when you know it's wrong, and then the people you have to hang around with are people you don't even like, is crazy. All that power just to still get disrespected at a B tier house party? Nah. Anyways, this just stood out to me while rewatching Avatar, so I just had to rant about it. Peace. Okay, I need to rant about this. If you go to school in the US, you probably have heard of a website called Delta Math before. Started being used in schools during COVID as a way of, like, kids still being able to complete their math homework, even though school is completely, like, digital and online. And since the coronavirus, many schools decide to, like, keep using Delta Math instead of going back to giving, like, normal math homework or, like, textbook homework or, like, paper worksheets. And I think this is single-handedly one of the dumbest decisions in the US education history, bro. And I have a lot of reasons for why I think this, but one of the main ones is just that the AI that Delta Math has, like, running it, that's, like, grading your work, basically, and deciding what's right and wrong, is just, like, fucking, like, stupid. It, like, sucks. Like, oftentimes you'll just get, or, like, not oftentimes, but relatively often, you'll just get the answer right, and it will just, like, say it's wrong, and then, like, also, there will have times where it's, like, it will only accept an answer in, like, a certain form. For example, it will only accept the answer in decimal form or fraction form or in, like, radical form or something like that, and it won't say that, so you'll enter the equivalent in, like, the wrong form, and it won't give you the credit for that. And there's also just a bunch of, like, other issues and small bugs when it comes to, like, grading what's right versus wrong and just, like, tracking progress and stuff like that. Issues that all wouldn't happen if you just had an actual teacher grading the work instead of just, like, some AI. I also just think the idea of having kids' homework be graded as AI is kind of fucking, like, dumb and against, like, a lot of, like, commonly shared principles. Cause, like, if a student uses AI to do their work, to do their job, the assignment gets marked as, like, a 0, and you can even get, like, suspended and expelled for that. But then teachers can use AI to do their job, to do part of their responsibility. I feel like it just is a dumb double standard and just doesn't set, like, a good example for, like, teaching, like, the growing generation, like, how to go about their jobs and how to work and all that. Since this AI grading thing, like I said, isn't as good as if you just had an actual teacher, like, going over and looking at the work. And another thing I just hate about Delta Math is just the thing that, like, penalties, if an assignment has a penalty on it, I hate it. And the thing is, a lot of teachers start adding penalties, not even just for, like, multiple choice ones to prevent you from guessing. They'll just have, like, penalties on, like, normal questions where you have to, like, actually write it out to get the answer. And for me, I feel like that's so stupid because it's just discouraging kids from trying to actually, like, do their homework and trying to give it their best shot because they lose like, credit on the answers they've already got, like, right, if they get one wrong. And it's like, that's gonna, like, I've talked to, like, other kids in my school, like, that's a big reason for why people don't do their homework or, like, give up on that homework. So I feel like having that is just dumb. Also, it's just not being able to move on from, like, the next topic or get any credit on your grade if you get, like, a question wrong is yet again dumb. Like, if you have, like, a paper worksheet, right, if you get it, you can just try your best at each question, and then you'll get some wrong, you can get some right, but you move on and just complete it. Delta Math takes significantly longer and is significantly more stressful because you just have to, like, get every question right. You have to, like, do all these
or you can't move on to the next topic, or you won't get credit for it on the homework. So it just takes significantly longer and makes it like harder to like fulfill like assignments in other classes. Also, maybe this is just me, but I believe there are just some topics in school that just should be done on like pen and paper, and like you don't need technology for it. And I believe math is like one of those things, because I legitimately don't feel like doing like, I don't think anyone agrees that doing math on Delta Math and having to like enter in these answers to this computer AI thing, and then have it sometimes like get it wrong, or sometimes be right, and then you have to like figure out how to enter these like weird like powers and like symbols on the computers and stuff. And I feel like if we just had worksheets, this would legitimately be like so much easier. I feel like the only like non-debatable benefit of Delta Math legitimately is that it's good for like I said, it was good during the pandemic because that would still allow people to do some work, I guess, and that it makes teachers' jobs easier because they don't have to spend time like grading homework, or even as much time printing out and creating worksheets and stuff like that. That's quite literally the only positive, because I feel like everything about it is just so negative and just so dumb, and I don't think it should be like how we're raising future generations to do their math homework. But hey, that's just my opinion. Peace. Sorry, but I feel like I need to talk about this. Respectfully, who the fuck in high school is still the people who are like drawing curse words and like drawing racial slurs on like the stalls in the bathroom? Because respectfully, that is literally like elementary school humor. Like, that is the shit people would find funny, and like I would find funny like in like 4th or 5th grade. I understand like some people continuing it through until like middle school, but how are you like the age where you can like drive, like vote for if you're like a senior, get a job, do all this shit like at a big age, like in high school, and you still doing this shit, writing on the stalls, thinking that's funny? Like, I low-key feel like this is like the most like childish form of humor. Like, I'm not like, maybe I'm being the fun police, but like I low-key feel like at like once you get to a certain point, it's like, bro, okay, it's time to hang it up. You have to realize like it's not really as funny as it was like when you were a kid. Like, it's just kind of like childish and like annoying for the janitor who has to clean it up, getting paid like $12 an hour or some shit. Okay, thinking about it now, being in a high school janitor has to be one of the most miserable jobs in like the history of like ever. Cause just think about it, you're super fucking underpaid, and then cause high school students always be on some absolute bullshit. You know, every day could just be a big possibility that you just have to clean up some dumb fucking huge ass mess, bro. Just the sheer amount of unexplainable bullshit messes that I have just like witnessed as a third party in my time at school has just been wild. I can't imagine as a janitor what's like having to clean that shit up like on the daily, bro. Especially in the bathrooms where people just be doing absolute dumb shit, bro. One time I walked into a stall in the bathroom at my school and someone just planted a tree in the fucking toilet, bro. It wasn't like a huge tree, but it was like one of those small ones you can get in like the pots in like Home Depot that like some people put out on like their patio and shit. One of those was just like straight up in the toilet, bro. Imagine being the janitor that got cleaned that shit up for $12 an hour. I would just straight up boo myself. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Second worst besides the bathrooms would probably be the lunchrooms, because kids, even in high school, somehow do not know how to fucking clean up after themselves. So the lunchrooms are always like filthy with a bunch of like shit spilled and left behind. And bro, you got think about it, you gotta do that every single lunch period. So you have to do that like multiple times a day. The bathroom low key probably only gets messed up once a day, and you have to clean that at the end when everyone's gone. But the lunchroom, you gotta clean over and over again, bro. That shit would fucking suck. I mentioned the bathrooms are small, the cafeteria big as hell, bro. Heart goes out to all the school janitors and custodians out there, bro. Y'all should be getting paid 6 figures, because I just already know, even though just like thinking about it, and I've never actually done it, that job is hard as shit, bro. Y'all underpaid, bro. But just speaking about other shit that happens in school bathrooms, who the hell are the people that also think it's funny to just like clog the toilets for no reason? Like, yo, what the shit? Like, I don't even get what's funny about that, because it's like, oh, I'm just inconveniencing everyone. Like, I genuinely just don't get what is funny about that.
It's like, I don't really shit at school unless I absolutely have to, but imagine you in a situation where you have to, and the toilet's just fucking clogged with toilet paper, cause some dumbass just sticks the whole ass roll in there. Like, for what purpose do you do that? And then not to mention that's disgusting, you guys have to, like, stick your hand in the toilet to, like, clog it, like, efficiently, or whatever the hell these guys be doing, where it's just always, like, fucking, like, chocked full of toilet paper. You really going out of class to do, like, this dirty, like, not even funny, just dumb, degenerate shit in the bathroom, gang. Yet again, making the janitor and just like other people in the school's lives harder. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't see the humor in it. Like, can y'all tell me, am I bugging? Am I being the fun police? Or am I just like, or is this just like not funny at this age? Like, a lot of people will be complaining about the stoners and like the smokers in the bathroom, but low-key, they're not even the worst ones, because at least for the most part, they like get kept to yourselves. Like, sometimes they'll blow their fucking like leukemia smoke or whatever in your way, and that's like kind of annoying. But like, other than that, they're just kind of like standing near the sink, like smoking. They're not really getting in your way. Unlike people who just like destroy shit, clog the toilets. A while ago, there's like that devious lick challenge where people were just like literally stealing everything after school. I wasn't actually in high school for this. I was in like middle school. But bro, one time someone stole a whole toilet, bro. It was crazy. Like, there was a lot of smaller things stolen, like the handles of the sink, like the soap dispensers, the thing that like the toilet paper goes in. But someone somehow stole like a toilet, so one of the three stalls just didn't have a toilet in it. And I legitimately do not know how they got out of the school with a toilet without being noticed. Or I don't know if they just like broke the toilet, but I just know that one time the toilet, like, we came in one day and the toilet wasn't there. Like, there's just like a stall straight up, no toilet in it. And then like the school said it was a part of it was like as a result of the devious lick challenge. So I don't even like, I just assume someone took it, but there was just a stall with no toilet in it. I walked in there, I was confuzzled. When I walked in there, I thought it was like a lie. It was like a rumor at first. So people were talking about like, yo, someone stole a toilet. And I was like, yo, there's no way someone stole a fucking toilet. And I walked in there, and soon enough, there was no toilet. So I guess that means someone stole the fucking toilet. See, but that's like also a huge inconvenience. But like, at least that's like a little bit funny. Like, obviously it's horrible because like that one stall just didn't have a toilet for months before it got replaced. But like, that's like funny and like also low key impressive how they managed to just like actually get the toilet like off the wall to either like steal or just like destroy it or whatever the hell they did. Like, clogging like the toilet with toilet paper, that's just like not funny, is like annoying for people, and just like requires no effort. And like I said, this is like low key like dirty. But anyways, this is about the end of my little meaningless rant. That's it about it. Peace. Okay, so I just had one of the weirdest Thanksgiving experiences ever. This year for Thanksgiving, me and my dad decided to spend Thanksgiving with some old family friends rather than just like our normal family, because our normal family lives really far away and we couldn't travel for whatever reasons. So we decided to like reconnect with another family that we used to be really close with. And wow, I knew there was a good chance this would turn out interesting, but it was even more wild than I expected, to be completely honest. Like, bro, we were over at their house for like 7 hours, and within that 7 hours of like talking, there were so many things that happened. It was just crazy. I'm gonna try to go in chronological order of events. First, though, I need to give you guys some background information. In this family that we were visiting, there was 3 of them. There's the mom, a younger son who's 17. He used to be a really close friend of mine, but me and him went our separate ways for like personal reasons, and oh my god, this confirmed that I made the right choice. And there was also a sister in this family, and she was about like 22, and she was like the only other normal person this night. I swear, like, there was so many times where people would be talking about like some wild shit, and me and her would just like lock eyes and almost like start laughing at just the wild shit people were saying this night. But anyways, we go over to their place, and the first thing, like the very first thing to try to start a conversation that my friend's mom says, "Welp, we got a new mayor. What do you guys think?" And just for context, we live in New York City, so they're referring to Mondami being elected. And you know how there's like that kind of like unwritten rule to like try to not bring up politics or not bring up like race or other like serious issues at like Thanksgiving so people could have a good time? My dad and my friend's mom just said absolutely fuck that because they were talking about race and crazy like social issues and political stuff all night. It was like not only just what they were talking about, like the primary thing they were talking about, it was like the only thing they wanted to talk about. And the thing is, every crazy conversation somehow led into another, even crazier conversation. Like as the night went on, we went from talking about like politics in New York to like how evil the music industry. Then we went to like talk about like people selling their soul and like the devil and shit. And then from that point on, it just went full conspiracy theory mode. The more alcohol that got in people's system, the wilder the conversations got. Bro, I've known this family for over 16 years, and there were so many things I found out about them this night that I never even thought I would like know or like that, bro. I see a lot of conspiracy theorists online, but I don't really see that many in person. So for some reason, so for this such a long period of time, I've just been like thinking in my mind that these people are just like all just like weird Reddit mod, Discord, like social outcast people. Nah, conspiracy theorists that you see online, like leaving comments, making these videos and shit, they just must be like normal people. Cause as the night went on, bro, like there were these people that I knew my whole life that I thought was like, I don't know, just like relatively normal people started going on about like Bill Gates and like anti-vax shit and just like actual the type of like very stereotypical like conspiracy theorists that you'll just like see on like literally see on Reddit, literally see on like Discord, 4chan and shit that people are making fun of. And it was just wild. I wasn't even really contributing that much to these conversations. I was just sitting back and listening in awe of all of the like wild misinformation and just like shit I was hearing at that table. I'm not even gonna lie. Bruh, and it was so hard to not like burst out laughing and like be disrespectful whenever they would say like some super wild shit, bro. Or like some super like conspiracy theory shit that you know is not true. Cause it's just like, bro, you can tell they like actually believe this and you don't want to be rude, but it's just like, ah. But it's also like, I don't want to like argue and tell them they're wrong because, bro, this Thanksgiving, like, as soon as it started going in the direction of politics, I just knew the rabbit hole we were going down. I didn't expect it to be this deep, but I just knew the direction we were heading in, and I was just not trying to have an argument, bro. Especially at this point in the conversation when it got to all this anti-vax Bill Gates stuff, it was already like 10 in the evening. I already ate and stuff. I was tired, bro. I was just trying to be done with it all. But politics weren't the only thing that made this night like extremely like weird and stuff too. Like yeah, it was a lot of politics and like conspiracy theory and like political issues like that. But also both my like parents on both families just started like airing personal shit out about their kids, and that just made it 1,000 times more awkward. I'm not sure what it is when parents get around like another set of parents, but it's like they almost try to have a competition for either like this try to embarrass the other kids like the most. It is like actually like parents have competitions sometimes to try to make their kid look like the worst kid in the room, bro. Y'all know those memes you see online where it's like mothers airing out your personal details just to gain like social credit? Like that was what both sets of parents were doing during this Thanksgiving last night, bro. On this Thanksgiving, there was also just a bunch of random stories that were wild that weren't even political in any way. Like at one point, my friend's mom, who's from Kenya, just started talking about what it was like growing up with like seven siblings in Kenya, and just randomly like gets up from the table, goes to the like a random spot in their house where they have like stuff and grabs like a huge big ass stick, or not even like a stick. A stick is an understatement. Like this is a huge ass wooden club, and she just goes, "My siblings used to beat me with this every single day." And I was just like, "Damn, that sucks. But why the fuck are you telling me?" Like, bruh, then she just started trauma dumping against, like, all of the, like, warfare her and her siblings in Kenya would just engage on each other with back then. Like, bro. Told us another story about how her sibling tried to drown her in a well one time. I'm just like, dog, what the like? And the wild thing is that her whole moral of the story for like why she was telling her these things was supposed to be like some big lesson, like even though your siblings will do stuff to you when you're younger, you're not like they'll really be your best friends when you're older. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Don't get me wrong, I have siblings too, and I can understand how you're aggressive with them younger and how you can like move past that and like become really close with them as you're older. But respectfully, if my siblings were trying to drown me in a well, just actually kill me, like beating me every day with a wooden club, bro, we not gonna be chill after that. I don't care if you my brother, sister, or whatever, you an op. Like, this is gonna sound like 1,000 times less crazy to you guys listening to this, because you didn't see this huge ass hunk of wood that she pulled out, bro. Like, this was not no regular, like, this was literally a club. This was a weapon, bro. Like, this was, bro, like, if you were to hit someone with this, you could break bones. Like, this is what Fred Flintstone had. This is what the cavemen were, like, conquering, like, other caves with back in the day. This is what they were hunting down, like, mammoths with, bro. Like, I'm just keeping it a buck. If my 6 siblings were jumping me with clubs every day, I would probably not love them very much. I would probably, like, relocate and find a new family if I could, bro. Like, that shit sounds tragic. I didn't say anything like that, like, last night, but if I were to, bro, they probably would have started calling me soft and, like, blamed it on me being Gen Z or something, to be honest. Because that was, like, their next point of discussion that they were talking about. Is, like, about, ooh, Gen Z's so soft, they don't know how to deal with any real discipline, and they're so spoiled and all that. Which is honestly just, like, a common old head take, to be honest. Like, it's the thing, like, any Gen Z or any, like, millennial or anyone who's ever been young has heard 1,000 times before. But yeah, this is definitely a Thanksgiving that's gonna go down in the history books for sure. And honestly, bro, I am never gonna look at any of those people the same after what I heard last night with all the crazy conspiracy theories, anti-vaxxing, personal childhood stories, and all of that, bro. Like, my perception has just been, like, utterly altered, bro. But anyways, feel free to leave any of your own interesting Thanksgiving stories in the comments below. It doesn't have to be from this year. It can be from, like, a past year or any past experience you have. But anyways, hope you all have happy holidays, and that's about it. See ya. I'm sorry, but companies just need to stop trying to use AI to make the commercials, because they just never turn out good at all. If you've been on social media, you've probably seen the awful McDonald's one that came out recently, and you also might have seen one that came out last year of Coca-Cola that was not quite as bad as this, but still awful. I just don't understand why companies are using AI to make commercials to begin with, because according to the people actually behind making these AI commercials, in order to get this dog shit, it's actually really expensive and a lot of hard work. I'm just like, what? The company behind this made a statement, because obviously this dog shit commercial was controversial, and they said, for 7 weeks, we hardly slept with up to 10 of our in-house AI and post specialists at the gardening club working in lockstep with directors. Every shot traveled through a rigorous engineered tool chain, real Google Earth plates, advanced style transfer, pixel level photo repair, custom, and just like a whole bunch of bullshit like that. And I'm like, my thing is, if this AI stuff is so much effort, why don't you just like actually make the commercial just normally, bro? And the thing is, the plot of this like McDonald's commercial really is just stupid in the first place, if we're being honest. Like, most commercials that come out around Christmas time will try to play in and almost profit off of the Christmas spirit. This commercial just said, fuck that, we don't want money, hating Christmas, criticizing like so much Christmas, American culture, all that, and like it just looks horrible, to be honest. Like, there's no good message. It looks dumb. Like, it doesn't look real. Like, this looks AI generated. Like, I don't get the point of this. Like, if this took 7 weeks to make, all this like resources, all this money, why don't you just actually go out and film this if you want to make your shitty anti-Christmas commercial or whatever the hell this is? McDonald's has just been, as a company, just taking nothing but L's recently, raising their prices. The quality of their food is gone this shit. Their quality of their commercials have gone this shit. Like, this was just a horrible idea, even worse execution, and on top they used AI to execute it. Like, they're just taking L's in every possible way. Another company that's been turning out AI slop for commercials is the Coca-Cola company. And this one, I will admit, does visually look better than McDonald's one, but it's still really bad and full of plenty flaws and errors in its own right. For example, hey, Coca-Cola, where the hell did the numbers on these license plates go just like a few seconds later in the commercial, huh? Did they despawn? Did the Christmas spirit carry the numbers away? Where did they go? And it's so funny how their slogan at the end of this commercial is Coca-Cola Real Magic, because nothing's more magical than a multi-billion-dollar corporation doing so much, taking away jobs from people just to save such a minimal amount of money to them. It's crazy. We'll admit though, Coca-Cola is bold for not only leaving this commercial up, but leaving the comments open on it too. Like, I don't respect anything they're doing with this, but I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, that is bold. I respect the courage to do that. Meanwhile, the only version of the McDonald's one that I can find is a re-upload on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure they folded pretty quickly after the backlash compared to Coca-Cola. I guess makes sense because they're both dog shit, but McDonald's is just in a whole nother lead of just like awful, bro. Like McDonald's, the AI is like, bro, it literally looks like the AI that they had in like 2022. Like it doesn't even look good or like realistic or up to date. It just looks so like bad. And like I know I'm harping on this, but just the idea of it is just like so dumb. Like why during the Christmas season when you want people to be cheery, willing to like gift give, spend money, stuff like that, are you trying to convince people that the season and like something that they're been loving for like the past however long the holidays existed, why are you trying to convince them to hate it? Like I just don't really get it. I don't get really why they thought that would work. I'm surprised they didn't have like a marketing team that like overlooked this and was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't air this. Maybe this isn't a good idea. Like I just don't get who the people are doing the PR and doing like the management of this who are just like greenlighting these ideas, bro. Like both at Coca-Cola, both at McDonald's, just at any of these companies just turning out these AI slop Sora-esque commercials. And I know that commercials can be like very expensive to make, but I swear it can't be worth the money you're losing from like the backlash and the criticism as a result of this. Like I said, both Coca-Cola and McDonald's started getting socially like slapped by people once they turned out both of these pieces of dog shit. That has to be costing the money some degree. And even if it's not directly cutting sales right after it happens, it still just has to make people lose trust in the brand in a way which for a multi-billion-dollar corporation I can't really imagine it's worth it to save the few hundred or thousand or few millions of dollars. But hey, what do I know? Honestly, if I was like Pepsi or Burger King right now, this would be like the perfect opportunity to make a commercial like openly hating on AI, saying like we use real actors, we use real workers, stuff like that. That shit would make people go so crazy in support and just being against stuff. I swear that would have to result in like huge profits for both of them and just like better brand perception for both of them. Because like I said, there's one thing almost everyone of both political parties hate right now, and that's AI taking jobs and just like turning out this AI slop and stuff like that. Like if I was any type of competitor to McDonald's, Coca-Cola, or any company that's using AI as their big marketing push right now, that's all I would be doing with our marketing, is just criticizing that and gaining the free social support of people who obviously hate AI for like good reasons. But hey, that's just what I think would be smart. Anyways, that's about it. Have a good day. Peace. Okay, so let me tell you about the most cooked school presentation I've ever had. But this wasn't just a normal slideshow presentation. This was in my film class, so we had to write a 5-page screenplay in the 3-act play structure. And it wasn't actually writing the screenplay that I had trouble with. That part went relatively fine. It was just on the day we were acting out on all the screenplays in class to pick which one we were going to actually make films on and like expand on is where all the problems arose. Now there's something I haven't been telling y'all. Before I submitted this assignment, I made one crucial mistake that I've honestly really never made before. I didn't thoroughly reread my document before turning it in. And the reason I didn't do this is because I just like glanced at it and saw that there was like no red or blue like spelling/grammar errors. So I was like, oh, it's probably good. And if there is just one or two small mistakes, it's fine. But something I forgot to calculate was that the people that were sitting next to me and in my group were just complete dumbass buffoons, bro. Like, you know that thing you do when your friend's writing like a paper and an essay where you'll like go on their document like and like write some crazy shit and then you delete it, right? They did that without telling me and without deleting it while I was away from my computer. And since I didn't double check it, it just was in the final thing when we were rereading it in front of my whole class, bro. You wanna know what they fucking wrote? So my main character in my story was named Charlie. So like 3 pages into the 5-page script, one of the parentheticals, they just deleted what I wrote and then just wrote Kirk. So next to the name Charlie, it looked like it said Charlie Kirk. And this was like a little like while ago. So this is like more close to after he got shot. And bro, oh my god. And that wasn't even it, bro. One more other thing that I missed when I just did my very brief glance at it is that in the scene headings on like one of the pages, one of my group members wrote, "I hate black people" in the scene headings, bro. And all of this was just left in and was like we saw by the whole class when we were reading it out loud, bro. It was cooked. And looking back on it now, it is a little bit funny. But in the moment, I was so scared because in the moment, I thought I was going to get in trouble because I couldn't really prove that I didn't write those things. Luckily, the teacher like knew that like I wouldn't try to like sacrifice my own project like that, so he believed that it wasn't me. But I was scared I was gonna get in so much trouble, bro. And still, like people like because I said my whole film class saw this, so this quickly became like a story around the school, bro. And it was just bro. Like, I deadass think this is the first time I've legit ever turned something in like this without like thoroughly rereading it first, and this shit happens, bro. Like, this is like actually the shit. Like I swear this is the type of thing that would like only happen to me. And then after class, I gotta like press my group mates trying to figure out like who was it, and none of them was owning up to that shit. So I have my suspicions about like 2 people who I think were behind it, but I can't be exactly sure because, like I said, I wasn't at my computer, so I don't have like the hard evidence. But I have like 2 suspects in my mind, and I'm like pretty sure, like pretty certain that they were the ones who did it. But I'm not gonna lie, not owning up to it is also pretty pussy, especially at this point because it's like the situation's over. It's not like you're gonna get in any trouble. Yeah, I didn't get in any like actual serious trouble with this, and neither did any of the people in my group. My teacher did make sure to go on like a huge rant about it for like basically the rest of class, and then talk about how he like all the people that were in my group, how we're never gonna be in the same group together and stuff like that for the rest of the year and shit. Bro, it was just it was wild. I can't even blame him for being mad. Like, really, how he feels is justified. I'm not gonna lie. Also, I still got a decent grade on the project because thankfully my teacher allowed me to remove the offensive stuff that wasn't added by me and then resubmit it, and I still got a decent grade on it. So in the end, it all worked out. But bro, in the moment, this was definitely terrifying. And looking back on it, it's a bit funny. But yeah, this is by far my craziest school presentation experience. If any of you guys want to talk about yours in the comments below, feel free. But yeah, that's about it. Happy holidays. Thanks for 30 subscribers. Peace.